Hi, good evening. I've taken some time off. The craziness that happened yesterday, and my arguing with people over it on X, and a good friend of mine, and on Facebook. I just needed time to have some quiet space because of the craziness yesterday. You, I'm sure, have already seen this video, but I'm going to share it. I'm going to first say that President Trump definitely answered my questions and concerns that I had in my last video about what he was doing with the rare earth minerals, making deals with Zelensky, and I was asking if it was a ploy, if he was, an idiot, if he was being crazy. So I'm going to play this particular portion. It's a part that's a clip from his meeting with Zelensky, along with Vice President Vance, and so I'll go ahead and play that now.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr.
are
President,
not
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
And
problems.
do you think that it's
I
respectful
will answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of
will
the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in
answering
no
on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
speak
gambling
about?
with
What do you
World
speak
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to you.
Far more than a lot of people said
I'm very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
What are you
America
speaking
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot of
answer?
talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that,
American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you'd take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
is-
with me.
It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question, Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
Okay. I'm sure everybody has seen this by now. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this. My first thought, initial thought, when I watched this, was I was very excited to see that somebody had put Zelensky in his place. Because anytime he comes to visit here, the history of the past 3 years has been that everybody practically rolls out the red carpet for him, kisses his feet. That's the Biden administration, that's Congress, and this ridiculous fawning over him. And he and his government, which again, have Azov Battalion in it still. There are Nazis in his government, not just in his army. And that has not disappeared. So they've persecuted the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, as I have done plenty of videos on, all those reports, to make him out to be some kind of victim or freedom fighter or whatever is over the top. It's exaggerated big time. So what I'm saying is the whole that whole thing of him trying to tell Trump and JD and basically the American people that, oh, well, it's only a matter of time before Russia strikes you. You have that ocean, but you're not safe, is basically what he said when he started to explain the situation. He made up these issues of, Putin killing people and all this. Well, but from 2014 to 2022, about 14,000 people died in Lugansk and Donbass area. Which is in Ukraine, but they're Russian-speaking people there. If you don't know the history by now, the coup happened in 2014. You know that they were bombing the innocent civilians there. It has videos showing what was going on. So my view was he needed to be taken down a notch, several notches, Zelensky. And here I had my questions. Why is Trump doing all this? Why does he keep bragging about the javelins? Why does he do this? It was the same as how he acted with the whole Gaza thing. Bombastic, over the top with the whole situation with the Gaza area, and then now with this. And he was saying the day before Zelensky came. So I got my answer, and the answer was he does what I've heard people say for how he does the art of the deal is he embarrasses people, exposes them, allows them to hang themselves, you know, and yeah, we spend a lot of our taxpayer money, $350 billion, without a say from us, without a vote from us, just taking all of that money to continue a war that was never going to be won by Zelensky in Ukraine. From the start, that never was going to happen. And it started as a special military operation because, according to Putin, he wanted to get rid of the Nazis. He wanted to demilitarize the army and the government there because of the NATO encroachment and the fear of having weapons and army people and all that right on Russia's borders. And this has been going on for 20 years, actually more than 20 years. And so I enjoyed this at first because I was like, yes, finally somebody is telling him the truth. He's losing. He's not going to win. He never was going to win. He doesn't, and he does not care about his people. He says this, but if he cared, he would have taken the first deal in March or April of 2022, when he would have kept most of his land, instead of now that he can't, his country's in ruins. He's lost 1 million plus people, mostly soldiers, in this war. He doesn't care about his Ukrainian people. He was getting plenty of money, laundered over according to many people, and he has this addiction with cocaine, that problem, and he just has these issues. And he didn't even hold an election last May when he was supposed to. He's not a good leader. He's corrupt. He doesn't care. He just wants the money. He demands that Europe and the US just keep giving him money, giving him weapons. I don't have enough. And then he had the nerve to say in a Fox News interview after that your people need to save our people. That's not our job. It's your job. And your job would have been to save your people, would have been to take that deal, or take one in 2023 or 2024. Come to some ceasefire, come to some reconciliation with the Russian government and president. But no, just kept fighting. The last poll I heard on the Ukrainian people, at least 60%, if not higher, at least 60% wants this war to end. Why? Because they've lost their sons, their husbands, their fathers, a generation of them. It's disgusting. It's terrible that he continued this knowing he wasn't going to win. Did he think he was going to win because he got some weapons from the Europeans and from us? I don't know. I tend to think that he knew that wasn't going to happen. He just wanted the money. But maybe I'm just being too skeptical. Maybe he really thought that somehow that we were going to... No. And if we would have taken it further, there would have been, as Trump mentioned, World War III. I mean, when Biden, the last few months when Biden was in office, we were really concerned that nuclear weapons were going to go off and that the whole planet was going to be done. So that's the main thing I wanted to say on this whole issue. I had to take time away because I had bottled this up for 3 years, not discussing this with my friends, with anybody of my friends on social media. I just let them go on about, oh, I'm with Ukraine and Zelensky's great, he's a hero, even though I vehemently disagreed. But I didn't say anything. I didn't feel like, you get that. It was like being during COVID. You can't say anything. And it was like with the Russiagate. You try to speak out against all these falsehoods that are put out as this propaganda from the West. But, you get to this point where you can't say anything. You're afraid to say anything because it's going against the majority, quote unquote. They're going against the stream, the upstream, and you're swimming downstream. But, so that's what I wanted to share with you, and I'll give you what Trump said afterwards, because nobody's focusing on the peace element of this, which is what Trump is striving for.
He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards, just so you understand it, okay? I get that. I don't have to tell you that. Go ahead. I think you know the answer to it. What? Wait. Look, I don't trust or distrust anybody. I just want to get a deal done. And if the deal happens, good. But you can't embolden somebody that does not have the cards, and all of a sudden that person says, oh, well, now I can keep fighting. We're not going to keep fighting. You're going to get the war done, or let them go and see what happens. Let them fight it out. I want anybody that's going to make peace. If he's capable of making peace, which he may or may not be, but I want somebody that's going to make peace. Again, he doesn't have the cards. When we sign up, he's got all of the cards. That doesn't mean he can fight. He's got to stop the fighting, stop the death. He's losing hundreds of thousands of soldiers. It's time to stop the death. Say it? Well, he says he wants it now. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that. They should have an immediate ceasefire. That was the other thing he didn't want to do about ceasefire. A ceasefire could take place immediately. A contract, if you want to end the war, you sign up an agreement. It's going to take a period of time. It takes time. I want it to end immediately. And I think if you had a ceasefire, it would be a ceasefire, a real one, that would end it. But he doesn't want to do that. That's fine. Do it better than that. I want it to end immediately. I want a ceasefire now. He says, oh, I don't want a ceasefire. Well, all of a sudden, he's a big shot because he has the U.S. on his side. Either we're going to end it or let him fight it out. And if he fights it out, it's not going to be pretty. Because without us, he doesn't win. Let me tell you. It doesn't matter what I'm considering. I'm just telling you. You saw what I saw today. That was not a man that wanted to make peace. And I'm only interested if he wants to end the bloodshed. Thank you very much.
So as you see, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get peace. And people are arguing over Trump being rude to Zelensky. And no, he didn't allow Zelensky to go on speaking the usual propaganda that's been out for years. I'm so tired of this. And so I had to take that night, last night, to not get on here because I just wasn't in a good frame of mind. I tend to get emotional. So I just doing this now at a calmer time. But anyway, that's what I had to share with you. If you want to add any comments to below this video, you can. Thank you for watching. Please follow my channel, like my videos if you like them, share my channel, share my videos, and I appreciate your support. Until next time.